He Not So Boring Tunnel. Chapter 1, 4:53 a.m. Miles woke at 4:53 a.m., not because of a sound, but because the house had finally stopped pretending someone else still lived there. For 20 years, the house had learned Penny's rhythms the way skin learns pressure, her footsteps at night, the careful closing of drawers, the way she cleared her throat before speaking when she had already decided she was right. Even in sleep, Miles had known where she was. Even in silence, there had been weight. Now there was nothing. No shifting mattress. No breath that wasn't his. No low electrical hum of another person's presence. Just stillness, so clean it startled him awake. He lay there for a moment, eyes open, staring at the faint seam of light beneath the bedroom door. Dawn hadn't arrived yet, but the night was loosening its grip. The kind of hour where decisions didn't echo anymore. They simply existed. He knew before he stood up. Still, he stood slowly, as if moving too fast might call her back into being. The house felt larger when he stepped into it. Not emptier, larger. As if rooms had been waiting years to exhale. The kitchen light came on without ceremony. No soft curse from Penny about electricity. No comment about the hour. Just the clean click of the switch and the quiet glow of under-cabinet LEDs she'd insisted were practical. The note sat on the counter, exactly where she'd always left lists. Centered? Folded once. His name written clearly, without flourish. Miles? No hearts. No apology scribbles in the margins. Penny had never been sentimental when she was done. He didn't open it right away. Instead, he noticed what wasn't there. Her mug, gone. The ceramic bowl she used for oatmeal, gone. The mail stack she curated obsessively, gone. The house hadn't been robbed. It had been finished. When he finally unfolded the paper, he found no anger waiting for him. Just clarity. Greater than you were right, it began. Not I'm sorry. Not I didn't mean to hurt you. Just, you were right. She wrote plainly. About therapy. About the years of arguments that never landed anywhere because she never believed she was capable of being wrong. About how she'd spent most of their marriage explaining herself instead of listening. She used the word narcissist once. Not defensively. Not dramatically. Like a diagnosis you accept after you're too tired to fight it. Greater than I don't think I can change, she wrote. And I don't think you should have to keep waiting for me to want to. He read that line twice. Not because it hurt, but because it didn't. The letter covered logistics after that. San Francisco. A job offer she'd accepted months ago. Friends she'd been spending more time with than she admitted. The property list they'd already divided quietly, piece by piece, over years of emotional retreat. She'd taken only what was hers. She'd left only what was his. At the bottom, her handwriting softened, but didn't waver. Greater than I hope you finally do something just for yourself. No promise to stay in touch. No plea for understanding. No dramatic goodbye. She signed her name. Miles folded the letter carefully and placed it back on the counter. Then he stood there for a long moment, waiting for something, grief, anger, panic, to arrive and claim him. Nothing did. What came instead was space. A strange, weightless sensation, like loosening a muscle you hadn't realized you'd been clenching for decades. He poured himself coffee. Black. The way he'd always liked it, but rarely made because Penny said it upset her stomach just to smell it. The first sip tasted sharper than he remembered. He sat at the kitchen table alone, dawn slowly unthreading the dark from the windows, and realized something that surprised him more than the note. He wasn't lonely. He thought of the years leading up to this morning, the way Penny had stopped touching him except absentmindedly, the way her body had retreated into phone screens and friends and curated outrage that had nothing to do with him. The way conversations had become performances, not exchanges. They hadn't ended a marriage. They had concluded a long withdrawal. By 6 a.m., he had showered, dressed, and called work. The voice on the other end, his supervisor of nearly 15 years, listened quietly as Miles explained, in simple terms, What had happened? There was a pause. Then, "Don't come in." Miles frowned slightly. "I'm fine." "I know," the man said. "That's not why. You've got more vacation days than anyone I've ever seen. You've never taken them. Take a month. See the country. Clear your head." Miles smiled despite himself. "Seriously," the voice added. "We'll survive." When the call ended, the house felt different again. Not abandoned. Unclaimed. By 9 a.m., Miles stood in the garage, staring at the empty space Penny's car had occupied. He didn't feel the urge to replace it. He felt the urge to move. He'd been thinking about the LEOX Stallion for years. $500,000. An absurd number, Penny had always said, usually with a laugh that disguised the fact she'd already decided the answer was no. He'd agreed with her publicly. Privately, he'd followed every release, every underground forum leak, every whispered rumor about what LEOX was really building. Not a car. A declaration. The Stallion wasn't about transportation. It was about velocity without violence. Power without noise. Freedom without the need to explain yourself to anyone sitting in the passenger seat. He'd never bought it because Penny had been there. Not because she forbade it. Because he hadn't wanted to justify wanting something that badly. At 10 a.m., he logged into the LEOX private client portal. He didn't browse. He clicked Confirm Purchase. The paperwork was already prepared. NDAs layered like sediment. Clauses that suggested features far beyond what the public knew. A brief line that caught his attention, greater than adaptive companion interface included. He signed anyway. By noon, the confirmation came through. Delivery scheduled. Orientation optional. Access granted. Miles closed the laptop and stood by the window, watching the light change across the street. For the first time in decades, no one was watching him choose. He didn't feel reckless. He felt earned. That afternoon, he packed lightly. Not because he was leaving soon, but because he could. A bag. A jacket. A few books he hadn't read because Penny said they were a little much. He walked through the house once more before bed, touching nothing. Just noticing. In the bedroom, the bed looked too wide now, but not wrong. In the living room, the couch bore the faint outline of two lives that had once leaned toward each other and then, slowly, away. At 11:47 p.m., Miles lay down and turned off the light. The house did not resist him. As sleep crept in, one thought surfaced, not grief, not regret, but something closer to wonder. I have no idea who I get to be now. And for the first time in his life, that uncertainty felt like an invitation.